Good morning, student. I am Miss Rashmi Singh of Mary Lucas School. I am going to take your geography as we are going to study our fifth lesson, Landform of the Earth. You can see what all topics we are going to cover: mountains, types of mountains, plateau, types of plateaus, plains, types of plains. So please children, open your books on page number 45, Landforms of the Earth. The systematic study of the Earth relief features is called geomorphology, geo, earth, morpho, forum, logy, science. But one can also call it a study of landforms. First, landforms of the Earth. Landforms, the geographical destructive configuration or conformation of the Earth's surface have fundamental influence on the pattern of human life and activity. Thus, the study of landform is of primary concern to the geographers. Point number one, a mountain chain is an effective barrier between group of people who live in an adjacent lowlands. It may also serve as a climate barrier as in the case of Himalayas, or may shield a lowland from prevailing moisture bearing winds, thus causing a desert. Please turn your chapters, children. Lesson, page. A plain, on the other hand, may be densely populated, rich in agriculture, resources, with a good network of rail and road where human life may flourish. Children, plains are also called landforms. A deeply intended coastline with excellent harbor facility may promote fishing, ocean trade, or shipbuilding. On the mountain slope, climate becomes cooler and moist with increased altitude, which may be ideal for increased human activity like agriculture and woodwork. However, these landforms on the Earth's surface pass through an orderly series of changes. Therefore, landscape features are sorted out on the basis of their form and origin. So, children, coastline is also landforms. Let's see. In order to make a systematic study and for the sake of convenience, the landforms have been divided into three orders of relief. These classified landscapes by scale form enormous ocean basin and continents down to local hill, spurs, cliffs, valleys, gorges and river terraces. First topic we are going to take, children, mountains. Introduction. Definition. A portion of land surface rising considerably above the surrounding either as a single eminence area or in a range of chain is known as mountain. So children, what is a mountain? A high ranges which are coming up from the core of the earth. Mountain system shows evidence of enormous force which have folded, faulted and generally deformed large section of the earth crust. The name given to the group of process which collectively produce a mountain system is orogenesis, from the Greek word oros for mountains and genesis for to come into being. Mountain building or formation. Orogeny or orogenesis. An orogeny is a period of mountain building. Orogenesis is the process of mountain building. See children, the difference between orogeny and orogenesis. Orogeny is a period of mountain building and orogenesis is the process of mountain building, leading to the formation of intense deformed belts which constitute mountain range. Regional metamorphism and granite placement are always formed in the deeper level of the organic belt. So, children, orogeny and orogenesis we have come across. Let's see the types of mountain. Mountains are often classified according to their mode of formation, namely fold mountains, block mountains, and residual mountains. First, we will take fold mountains. High mountain chains such as the Himalaya, Andes, Alps, and Rockies are known as New Fold Mountain System. The term fold is a reference to the way in which such mountains have been formed. Throughout millions of years, the slow movement of the earth crust have caused these mountains to be raised. Can you see the figure? Anticline and syncline. Anticline and syncline. These are the fold mountains, children. The upper portion which is going upward is anticline and the downward is called syncline mount. These are called having folds in them. Children, you have made paper fans. You fold the paper. They have folds in it. Same way, we see folds here in these fold mountains. Each is having layers in it. These are called fold mountains. The term fold is a reference to the way in which such mountains have been formed. Throughout millions of years, the slow movements of the earth crust have caused these mountains to be raised. So, from the earth crust, they have erupted upwards, and thus we can see that they are having peaks and having folds in it. The movement which have resulted in mountain building were horizontal movement, the effect of which was to cause the crust of the earth in wrinkling in a similar way in which a tablecloth wrinkles if it is pushed along the table. So they are in a shape of wrinkling. They have been in they are coming into horizontal position and in a wrinkling manner. When you take a handkerchief and crush it in your hand or a paper, it have wrinkles in it. Those are the lines which you can see in the fold mountains. The arched or upraised part of the folds are known as anticline and the trough as synclines. These folds can vary greatly in size. Young fold mountains. During the physical history of the earth, mountain building appears to have proceeded more actively at some period than others. So, new group of fold mountains include the Himalayas, Alps and Rockies and Andes. During an earlier period of folding, the Carbonic ferrous, the Pennines, Appalachians, the Cape Range of South Africa and the Dividing Range of Australia were uplifted. So children, these are the places where we can find the young fold mountains. These are the places, Pennines, Appalachians and the Cape Range of South Africa. These type and Australia also, they are having the young fold mountains. The old fold mountains which have been subjected to the force of denudation such as weather, rivers, glaciers, etc. So mountains are formed with, they are coming in contact with the weather by rivers and glaciers. For long geographical period, such are much lower and less rugged than the newer fold mountains. The term new fold is applied to the mountain ranges which have been folded most recently. Young fold mountains and volcanoes. Most of the active volcanoes are found in the neighborhood of fold mountains where the crust of the earth has been fractured during the process of folding. All around the Pacific Ocean, there are many active and extinct volcanoes, as in New Zealand, the India's, Japan, and North and Central South America. Another belt of active volcanoes is associated with the fold mountains of the West Indies. The mountains of young fold type are characterized by ruggedness of relief and rounded contours of mountain areas which have been subjected to weathering agents for a long period of time. Example, the Alps and the Scottish Highlands. Block mountains. Sometimes movements of the earth crust causes cracks and faults, where such movement leaves a block of highest land standing between two areas of lower land and highland is known as a block mountain or Horus. The Vosges and the Black Forest mountains are example of such formation. The mountains are usually very steep sided and often the summit levels are roughly the same. Another example of fault mountain in Pakistan. Children, the block mountains, yeah, you can see in the picture, it is in Pakistan, and here in this they are in the form of a block, and you can see how they are having different weather condition according to each step of it blocks. Residual mountains. When an area of highland remains standing above the general level after river and another natural agent have lowered the surface of the surrounding area, the term residual mountain is used. Sometimes such highlands are called mountains of denudation. Example, Helvin Residual Mountain. Significance of mountain. Mountains are effective climatic barrier and the climates of region on either sides of the high mountain range are very different. For example, the coastlands of British Columbia have an equable climate and heavy rainfall, while the lands to the east of the Rockies have an extreme climate and light rainfall. So, children, the mountains are also affected by the climate also. Some places there is rainfall, heavy rainfall, and some area there is very less rainfall. So this also plays a major role in the forming of the mountain. The swift streams of mountains are frequent source of hydroelectric power, especially the countries in which no coal such as Switzerland and Norway. So, mountains are also helpful in the hydroelectrical power where there is no coal. There are the two places, Switzerland and Norway. In North America, the western corridors provides gold, copper, lead and silver, especially in the states of Nevada and Montana. The Andes provides tin and copper, Bolivia, gold and platinum, Colombia, and silver, Peru. The highlands of East Australia are important for copper and gold. The lumbering industry is especially important in British Columbia. Lumbering, children, wood. Washington and Oregon, softwood. The Central America, mountainous land, hardwood. The Himalayan slopes, teak and sal. And the Scandinavian mountains, softwood. So, there is lumbering in all these places on the mountain regions. To provide food for the mining communities in inaccessible mountain area, agriculture has been developed, for example, in Salt Lake City in Utah. Mountain pastures have been utilized most extensively for cattle rearing in Switzerland and Scandinavia. High mountain ranges are also barriers to communication and so tends to separate people. Children, sometimes mountains are also a barrier to the people. They cannot cross big mountains. Barrier means obstruction. Traffic across mountain is limited to the passes, which are often so high as to be snow-bounded in winter. Such ranges as the Alps, Andes, etc. can only be crossed with great difficulty by constructing tunnels. So we have to construct tunnel to pass through the mountain areas. Some are covered with snow. So children, so far we have studied about mountains in the chapter Landforms of the Earth. In our next video, we will continue this landforms of the Earth with plateaus. Thank you children for your cooperation. We will meet in the next video.